Good evening everyone and welcome along to PSGL. We are here for the PST, of course it is season 30, it is F3 round number 7 of the championship as we take in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix from, of course, the Jeddah Corniche circuit here in Jeddah. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you the stream as always on a Monday night. Joining me in the commentary box will be IKRT Storm. He should be joining the party very soon indeed. I can see him within the lobby. But his TV is playing up, so that is why he's running a little bit behind schedule. But in the meantime, what I could do is run you through everything, of course, that happened last week. Of course, here in Saudi, from Saudi Arabia, of course, last week, of course, it was Austria, and Austria proved out to be a really, really good race, of course. But I just need to get up the championship standings and everything. That would be an absolute help if I can actually get on there first and foremost. But we should see some really good action, of course, here in Jeddah. It is one of the longest street circuits, of course, on the F1 calendar, and also one of the fastest F1 street circuits ever on the F1 calendar. Of course, you can reach speed around 180 mile an hour around here, and that is an average speed contained around here. Mathieu does lead the way after his win, of course, in Austria. He became the first two-time winner of the season, and Mathieu now leading the way by 19 points. He's got more than a race wins advantage over Izza. Izza there in second on 36 points, Joey in third on 33, Cameron in fourth on 30, Will Murdoch in fifth on 26, Newt in sixth on 25, Menno in fourth along, Menno in seventh I should say, not in fourth, Menno's in seventh along with Ron, there on 24 points, Rudy in ninth on 23, and Marcos in 10th on 18 points. And Storm, I know that you're here right now. Good evening, how are you doing, first and foremost?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking, and it's great to be back as well. Unfortunately, we know Logan. I just had to remember then. Unfortunately, couldn't make it again this week, so James has got me for a second week. Isn't he lucky?
He is very lucky indeed, I've got to say. And coming on to what I was just reading out there is obviously the driver's standings. Mathieu, of course, won last time out in Austria. It was a really good drive, really good fight as well, right to the end of the race. He eventually came out on top, beat Rudy, of course, in that race. And Rudy, of course, actually did not start. He actually beat, give me a second, he beat Trinity last week, of course. Mathieu leading the way on a 19-point advantage. Surely he's not going to lose that tonight, because a win is 16 points. He's got more than the race wins advantage over everyone.
Yeah, of course. And also being Saudi Arabia, it can punish as well. And also a quick mention as well. QRT Marlon has jumped up from reserve into the McLaren as Izza unfortunately departed the league this week. So he is going to be one to watch, I think.
I didn't know that. That's breaking news to me.
Yeah, it was. Isn't it ADRT? Izza?
Isu, yeah.
Yeah, Isu. That's the one I meant. Yeah.
I thought you had me worried. I thought you meant Izza, as in Izza, who's in second of the championship. Oh, you gave me an absolute heart attack. Goodness me. Oh yeah,
that's not what we want to do.
Yeah, definitely not. Isu, yeah, his driving, just to put it bluntly, was below the standards of what we expected of everyone, I think, in F3. And yeah, that is why, obviously, he has left. Obviously, the stewards, I think, have made the right call. It does create a clean and fairer starting point for everyone now coming into Jeddah, and with one driver less on the actual grid, that means we should see some really good, clean and fair racing, as we have had for the most part this season in F3. Running through the constructor standings as well, we're still waiting for a couple of drivers, I believe, to join, so I need to get the constructor standings up. And there's Alpine leading the way on 59 points, Mercedes in second on 52, Aston Martin in third on 51, Red Bull in fourth on 48, Haas in fifth on 40, along with Williams also on 40 points, Ferrari in seventh on 31, McLaren in eighth on 22, AlphaTauri in ninth on 21, and Alfa Romeo in 10th on 14 points. Very close in terms of the constructor standings. Of course, Will and Joey have been consistent. They've had their consistent performances. Both of them, though, seem to have really odd races. They've come alive on some parts of the race, at some races so far this season, and then at other races they're well off the pace. So, are we going to see the consistent team of the Alpine tonight, or are we going to see the lacklustre team of the Alpine tonight, and obviously try and let Mercedes and Aston Martin get in if that is the case?
Yeah, I think this week with Joey, obviously he had the qualifying ban last week, and he did make quite a few spots up. So it'll also be interesting to see what Cameron does after his tries last week at trying to get pole and then onto the podium. But yeah, no, I think Jeddah presents itself a little bit different to Austria. Austria is the more faster track. Obviously, Saudi Arabia is a very quick track, but it is also more a kind of a wheel track, I think, than it is a pad track. So I suspect a lot of these drivers will be on the wheel. Obviously, Rudy did a very good race last week, so hopefully we can have an end to a race like we did last week.
Yeah, definitely so. Obviously, it was fantastic. It was a rocker, by the way, that took second, not Trinity. Trinity, I think, finished outside of the points. It was a rocker. Comes to show I need my glasses and my eyes testing, I think, in terms of reading the actual standings there. But also, we have an announcement to make, obviously. You might have seen it in the Discord if you haven't already. I will announce it now on the stream. Of course, PSGL now has its very own F1 2022 Fantasy League, and that is in partnership, of course, with Grid Rival. And you can join the grid with PSGL, of course. And racing has never been so fun with it. Join the official league now using the link premiersimgl.com// Grid Rival. And of course, you can set up your own team. It's pretty much like F1 Fantasy, probably just a bit fancier, to be honest. So, obviously, get involved. It is a really fun and social aspect. Of course, there is a prize pool, I believe, as well. £50, I think, for the winner, if I'm not mistaken. So that is an absolute great opportunity. And you can get yourself some free cash coming to the end of the season as well.
Yeah, you can't complain with free cash as we head into what will be a short qualifying session around the Saudi Arabia track in Jeddah. Hosted one Grand Prix, which was a little bit of a chaotic race, which we saw Max Verstappen nearly have that fantastic pole lap. The lap that never really, unfortunately, happened, as we saw the battle between the Red Bull driver and the Mercedes. Hopefully there's no brake checking tonight, and we get a very nice, exciting race.
I think there's 19 drivers, if I'm not mistaken, as well here tonight, of course, at the Saudi Arabia circuit, the Jeddah Street Circuit, also called the Jeddah Corniche Circuit to you and me, 6.1 kilometres and then 3.6 mile, 27, yes, I repeat, 27 corners out on track, and it looks as if we're going to be running with midnight conditions as well for both qualifying and the race, which is very good to see. And obviously, with these 27 corners, I honestly think this track looks a bit like a fish. I say that genuinely, because look at the track back now on the right hand side, and you cannot say to me that doesn't look like a fish.
I have to think, James, nobody can see the stream. It's a black screen.
Oh!
I did message you. It is F3, isn't it? Yeah.
It is F3?
Yeah, your stream's showing a black screen, just literally nothing on it.
Is
it?
It
should happen. Yeah.
Let's have a look. I'm sure I got it up fine. Yeah, it's absolutely fine for me, so I'm not sure what's running. It might be your end,
no,
I think.
I've sorted it, yeah. I've got it, yeah. I blame Apple. So, it is going to be Lewis. No, not Lewis. It's going to be one of the Ferraris. I suspect that's Cameron.
Yep.
So, Cameron out the doors early this evening here in Jeddah. Ferrari had a quiet race, I have to say, here last season. They didn't really battle anything for a podium, but going to the 22, them cars, as you mentioned in the Fantasy League, who do you think is going to be on the top three for this season coming?
This season coming, I think it'll be Hamilton, whatever his last name is going to be, winning the championship possibly out on track. I think Verstappen will be second. I think George Russell will be third as well. I think he's going to get a really good showing, I think, out of that Mercedes. But of course, it remains to be seen, because the cars have changed, everything else has changed, the liveries have changed. it is going to be pretty much brand new era of Formula 1, and obviously brand new era here in F3 as well, with Cameron Dowd out first on a lap. He is coming through the left-handers of 25, 26 and 27, and by God, doesn't Jeddah look very nice in the midnight conditions. Normally, I commentate on other leagues around here, and normally it's run around 5 o'clock, normally when the sun is actually setting, but Cameron on the run towards the line, on a set of medium compound tyres, so we should be expecting, I would say, 26, 27, I would say, in terms of his lap time. So now Cameron runs down in towards turn number 1, through the left-hander of 1, through the right-hander of 2. It is very easy to get lost on this track in terms of the corners, so I'll try and take you through as best as I can. Coming through the left-hander of 3 there, and then in towards this section of 4 and 5. You get this right, you are pretty much laid up for the first sector. Through 6, and now through 7, 8, and then through the right-hander of turn number 9, and then toward the left-hander of turn 10, and then through the little right-hander of turn 11, and then on the run down and towards turn number 13, of course. That's the first sector done. 30.4 from Cameron through the first sector. As I said in the prelude just before we actually got into the stream, we, obviously in terms of the average speed around here is 180 mile an hour average speed. Probably just less than that around in this car and in this track. But Cameron now coming through, left-hander there 14 and 15, and now on the run through 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and then in towards turns 23 and 24. By goodness me, it is a very long lap around here. Coming through 24, and then through the double left-hander of 25, a Rocket just getting out of the way to the left-hand side. He was parked on the apex there slightly, but Cameron now coming through 26, and then into the final corner, of course, of 27. Hopefully no mishaps like Max Verstappen, of course, in the first Grand Prix around here in qualifying, where he obviously went into the wall. Cameron negotiates the final corner nicely. Should be a 27, I think, to start off the night. Cameron now to the line, 27.6. Should be seeing drivers, I would say, 26 is easy.
Yeah, and mentioning this is a night race as well. We've got now 3 night races on the calendar. We've got Singapore, Abu Dhabi, and now Jeddah. I'm going to throw this question to you, James. What out of the 3 tracks is your favourite?
Jeddah. By an absolute mile. Qualifying not so. Race though, if you get a safety car and you're towards the end of the lap, I've seen photo finishes around here in terms of the lap time, in terms of the actual race. So I'm expecting more of the same, I think, here tonight. What about you?
I think I would completely write off liking Singapore. I think I would go the same as yourself. I'm more of a Jeddah fan myself, especially it's just such a free-flowing track, I think, and yeah, I just can't be dealing with Singapore or Abu Dhabi. As OP Maraz sets a 26.9 on the soft compound tyre, and it's early doors in qualifying, so I can imagine that's going to be a lower time.
Yeah, definitely so. The Italian now out on top, of course, 26.9 on that set of soft compound tyres. Interesting strategies, by the way. Majority drivers actually didn't get a lap time in. Will Murdoch now, of course, running towards the line. 28.5, he goes 5th. But a majority of drivers, it seems like, they go on a set of medium compound tyres early on in this session. Dan Spreen was on a lap. He's invalidated. But Tuxai is on a lap as well. And Arocca's back into the pit lane. I'm trying to see who's actually furthest on. Dutch Missile is into the pit lane. There is a Williams coming through and towards the final couple of corners, and it is Nuth coming around the final corner, of course. I believe he's running the Ukrainian flag here, of course, tonight as well, like he did last week, which is really good, and I support that cause almost entirely. And Nuth there to the line, 28.2, set of medium compound tyres, and he's only 6 tenths off Cameron Dowd's lap time. Lap times, though, I think will begin to pick up towards the end of qualifying. It is Maras out on top, Cortez in second, Cameron Dowd in third, and Cameron, of course, there was a comment in there from Chaz in the comment section. He is some driver, and it's hard to believe he is only 12 years old. Yes, he is only 12, and when I was 12, I think I didn't even own an F1 game, so there you go.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. So, pole position prediction, James. Who are you going for tonight?
Well, DV19 has just gone top, 26.7, and he's normally quite quick around here. I've seen him drive around here before, and DV19 is very, very quick. So I think he's going to go on pole. Now we're 7 minutes into qualified. I think we've ruined it in terms of our top 3 predictions. But DV19, I think, will get pole. I think Cameron Dowds will get second, and I think Nuth will get third. I think he's got a really good chance there down in 7th position. But these guys are insanely fast. They are insanely fast. This is not PSGL F1, of course. It is PSGL F3, so it's the third top tier, basically, in the no assist, and, of course, here on the PS as well. But TV19 out on top, Maras in second. Marlon now third. Marlon, of course, a driver that you probably know quite well. He's on that sort of soft compound and size. He's 5 tenths off DV19. What does he need to try and improve on his lap?
I think with this type of track, you've just got to nail a few of the corners because of the track limits. I've seen some people go really wide and still not invalidate. Yeah, I think with this type of track, especially turn 1 and turn 2, we saw in the real life Grand Prix, I think was it Mazepin and a Ferrari and Perez, as Perez had the famous stand in front of the sign there with his stricken Red Bull. But yeah, I think turn 1, turn 2, and obviously where Max hit the wall is crucial parts because it can ruin a lap and obviously make the lap invalid or can end a lap, as I'm on board with Will Murdoch. He's invalidated, so. But yeah, I think maybe top 3 for me. I might. Oh, it's a tough one. I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Rudy. I think he was quick last week. He showed it. Obviously in the race. Unfortunate the way it ended. I think then I'll go with. I'm going to put Cameron up there. I think, and then I'm going to go with Marlon. I think. Throw it out there, just because obviously I'm not normally here. It's normally Logan, so he sees these drivers week in, week out, but I don't, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I'm gonna throw it out there and see what happens.
I was right on board with Izza there, just before, obviously, you were commenting there, but Izza was on a lap when you were, obviously, talking there, and he really messed up, and speaking of messing up, Dutch Missile has just careered it nearly into the wall, coming out of turn 7 and 8, he's just got too oversteery, coming out of turn 7, a very unstable setup on the car, and he is now around coming out of turn number 8, hopefully he can get that car going, otherwise it might disqualify him off track there, but Dutch Missile, I think, is going to get going, he's just waiting for an AlphaTauri to get through, and I believe that is Lewis coming through that section of the track. In fact, it's not. It is Marcados coming through that section of the track. But DV19 out on top, Maras in second, Marlon in third. But what I was going to say there, Izza was on a lap. He's now coming back out the pit lane, but coming through turn 23, the left-hander, just at the end of the middle sector, he almost hit the wall, and he had to correct the steering. Cortez has lost it through turn 12.
Yeah, I've just literally seen that. Yeah, that's a 5-place grid penalty for Ditch Missile.
Wow.
Literally, it was like watching the Perez incident last season. It was a concertina effect. One went into the other. Dutch Missile was sitting on the track, going quite slow, and somebody, I believe it was a Mercedes, went right into the back of him, and then there was an Alfa Romeo right behind that. Luckily, the Alfa Romeo's okay, and it's only got a wing missing. But that is so unlucky, and I think that may go to the stewards. But yeah, a 5-place grid penalty.
Yeah, definitely will go to the stewards. I'm sure the stewards will have a look into that. I didn't catch that on the end of the stream, unfortunately, so everyone here didn't actually see it. But it is a very tight track, and normally drivers do get in the way. You've got to watch out for each other, and on a street circuit, you've got to be aware, like Jolyon Palmer said. Matthew coming through the middle sector, the first sector, 30 flat actually through the first sector. Cameron Dowds, by the way, went top as well, 26.4 on that set of soft compound tyres. I think Rudy has just gone third as well. We're right on board with the championship leader. Now coming through 15 and 16, in towards, of course, the fastest section of the track through 17, through 18, through 19. I really hope we can get a helicopter cam with this lap. On board with Matthew. Matthew now coming through the middle sector, 57.3. He is on it here tonight. The championship leader as he now comes through turns 23 and 24. It's Cameron Dowds out on top, DV19 in second, Rudy there in third, and Matthew now coming through turn 25, through number 26, and then through the last corner of turn 27, which is this corner here he's coming up towards now. He is looking very quick, I've got to say, on this lap. Through the left-hander of the final corner, now on the run to the line. He should trouble Cameron Dowds, I think. He might go second, I think, with this. Matthew to the line. He does. Oh, he just misses second. goes third, 26.757, and he's around 400th of a he's around a 100th of a second off DV19. And also, Enzo coming through. We have a full dry session today. I believe so. I think so. Otherwise, it is just going to be the 1% chance of rain, unlike PCF1, which unfortunately had that which unfortunately, of course, had that. And obviously, Yano Watme absolutely dominated.
Yeah, well, I think Yano would dominate pretty much as expected. Yeah, I am on board with. I believe it is in the Aston Martin, the green and a little bit of a pink car. Obviously, that's changing next season. I don't know why they put the yellow trim on it. I don't know why. Oh, he gets rather close to the wall. Oh, he's invalidated. So that's not going to help. There is a lot of runoff on some of the corners, I've noticed. Trinity has also got invalidated. So let's go to DV19. He's on a lap at the moment in the Haas.
He just came off one.
Oh, is he? Oh.
He went second, 26.6. Yeah, he's down in the first sector. But I've got to say, you were speaking about the runoff area there. There was a lot of runoff area, and there has to be around a track like this because it's so close. If there weren't any walls on the right-hand side, especially coming through the faster section of the track, you'd probably be going into the sea. And I literally mean that. It's literally about 200 yards away from the actual the sea here in Jeddah. But Cameron Dowd's out on top at the minute, DV19 in second, Marcador's in third. I don't think there's anybody actually out there on a lap. I was flicking through there. I think Rexnig possibly could be 1-1. He's in 13th position, the Polish Kubica as they call it, of course, here in F3. And now Rexnig coming through as I've literally just clicked on that Kubica is Polish. So there we go. Rexnig coming through the middle sector. 58.1, he's 9/10 up nearly coming through the middle sector. Now towards 23 and 24. Negotiates that very well indeed. Now through 24, then in towards 25, and then through the left-hander of 26, and then towards the final corner, of course, at turn 27. There's a McLaren just going slow ahead of him. I think that's just a Missile preparing up for an outlap as Rex now comes through the final corner. 28.9, he should go ahead of Dan Spreen, I think, with this lap, as he's now on the run towards the line. The Red Bull is looking quite quick on this lap to the line, and he does go ahead of Dan Spreen by a good 0.3 per second. So Rex is there up to 9th. Currently, though, he's on the bubble almost, as Trinity now goes ahead of him. He goes 7th. Rexig now down to 10th. And what I was saying there, Rexig is on the bubble.
Yeah, some fast lap times coming in from the 19 drivers. Obviously, the Dutch Missile will... was it Maraz that will get the 5... I think it's OP Maraz that will get the 5 place group penalty, should I say. Yeah, the track limits here are quite... intriguing, I have to say. Like, you can literally cut half the curb and it won't invalidate. So, yeah, I don't know if they're the correct, well, I hope they are, track limits. There's 3 minutes left coming up on the clock, and it is Cameron on pole. My predicted pole sitter from last week, I should have done it this week. As DV19 is also on an outlap as well, as I think most of the drivers are now coming out for their final runs.
Somebody that is on his penultimate run, though, I think, is Maras. He's coming to the final corner. He's looking quite quick as well. He was 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector, now on the run to the line, and he troubles and he goes into third. Good lap time there. He found 0.3 per second dead on, so Maras there goes third. What you were right on board there as well, DV19 obviously out on his outlap. I think Cameron Dowd has just gone on to one, actually, coming through turn number 4, then through the right-hander of turn number 5. You were mentioning about the track limits. Through turn 4 and 5, you can literally cut the right-hand side of the apex without even getting a warning around here, and Cameron Dowd's coming through 11. That was quick through turn 11. 29.8. He's not purple in the first sector, though, but he should be through the first sector. He's now coming to the left-hander of turn 13. Get caught on the inside curb there, nearly over-rotating the car. Is it just off to the left-hand side there? But Cameron Dowd's now still out on top. He's 2 tenths clear of DV19. He's looking very quick, I've got to say, on this lap. It's looking assured, and it's looking quick as he now comes through the final few corners in the middle sector through 18, 19, 20. Lewis has just rejoined the session at the bottom. Hopefully we're not going to get anything, as Cameron Dowd's actually lost time in the middle sector. So pole. Looks can be deceiving around here at Jeddah, coming through 24, then through the left-hander of 25, 26, and then into the final corner, of course, at 27, and Cameron Dowds are literally saving every inch of the track on the inside curb, trying to gain that 1600th of a second back that he lost, and now Cameron Dowds coming to the final corner. He's on the run to the line. Is he going to come back into the pit lane? Perhaps he's taking a very thin line on the run to the line. He's found a bit of time in the final sector though, and he goes even quicker, 26.3. I think that is probably going to be a very hard lap time to beat. DV19 though, he's coming through the first sector, and for reference in terms of the first sector, he is quicker by 800ths of a second. So DV19, if he laps up the second and middle the second sector and the final sector around here, DV19 potentially could challenge Cameron for pole.
Yeah, it's these small margins that will get you pole position, as we are on board with DV19. As Sector 2, he is 87 milliseconds quicker. That's how small of a margin is, as he is now coming through, as he's now 1/10 quicker than his previous time. And he's invalidated. I think I've cursed him. I do apologise. That is a commentator's curse, and he has invalidated. So Cameron will still keep pole position at the moment, but nothing can be counted out, as Trinity has retired and Lewis has left again. I think he's might be having a few internet connection issues, but it's so unlucky for DV. But he will start on the front row still at the moment, as it is crunch time in for the drivers as they finish their final runs.
Rocker was on his final run. He's not going to get round for another lap, though. He's just backed off, coming in towards 27. Wasn't happy with that middle sector at all. Matthew, however, is on a lap, and he's just invalidated, coming through turn number 8 as I go on board with him. So that's absolutely typical TTG look there, I think, for Matthew. He's out there in P5. He's not going to be improving beyond P5 because Cameron Dowds is out on top. DV19, it's going to be further down the field we're going to look to. There's hardly anybody actually on a lap. Ron is not on a lap. He just came off one, I think. Dan Spreener's not on a lap. Dutch Missile is not on a lap. Nuth is invalidated. Will Murdoch is invalidated. That's the end of qualifying. Nobody is on a lap. Cameron Dowds is out on top from DV19 in second and Maras in third. 26.3 pole position around here. DV19 26.6. Maras also 26.6. Cameron Dowds is nearly 3/10 clear of the rest of the field, and then you've got 3/10 per second covering second to seventh.
Yeah, Cameron, he is an absolute special driver, and I think he's only going to go up and improve. That is such an incredible lap from the Ferrari driver. It's actually the first Ferrari that we've seen take a pole position for a little while, but yeah, I think he's such a special talent that I think maybe he might even, if we can get a good season together, we may be seeing him in F1 or F2 in the coming months on the new game. But yeah, what a lap, and he drove that car like an absolute rocket.
Well, remember as well, Cameron Dowds, Portimao, I believe he qualified in pole position there. If not, he was very close to pole position in Portimao. And he dominated the race and ended up getting disqualified right at the end because obviously he joined in qualifying and he desynced with the other drivers, and that is why that disqualification and that race win was taken away from him. He has looked very assured, I think, since the final, well, I would say since the break week, to be honest. Cameron has looked really, really quick. He is dominating, I've got to say, in PSGL F3, even though he's not the championship leader. There are moments like this where he's so special, I think, out on track. He is literally a class above the rest of the field, and he is 2.5 tenths, nearly 3 tenths clear of DV19. As Cameron Dowds out on top, DV19 there in second, Maras there in third, Marcados in fourth, Mathieu the Italian in fifth, with a Rocker in sixth, Rudy in seventh. Then a big chunk, nearly 2 tenths the gap to from Rudy down to Marlon in eighth, Trinity in ninth, Ron, who's running the Ukrainian flag there, in 10th, very good to see, Cortez in 11th, Batuksa in 12th, Dan in 13th, Rexig 14th, Dutch Missile in 15th. He will be starting at the back of the field though with that 5-second penalty. He was the one that got awarded after that incident. Nuth, Will Murdoch, Izza and Lewis will move ahead of him. Dutch Missile will start there down in P19 right at the back of the field. So I think obviously the stewards might have a look into that in terms of the dangerous driving aspect, but in terms of the actual position, he started at the back of the field, so the game has awarded it right for once.
Yeah, it is, I believe, a one-stop strategy here, as obviously I saw the and commentated over the F10 guys yesterday, and they did a soft to medium, or a medium to soft. The softs will last around about 9 to 10 laps, so I reckon the drivers will be pitting in around about that type of lap, which will be lap number 9 or lap number 10. And then I think it'll be, I'm trying to work out how many it'll be for, it'll be 15 for the mediums, because obviously there's only 25 laps. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see how the bottom half of the grid goes from P11 to P19, to see what tyre strategies they go on. Will they go for the softs to get themselves up the grid early on, or will they play the long game? Because you can get a safety car around here, and yeah, I think it is going to be an interesting race.
It is going to be a fascinating race, definitely. I've got to echo that completely. Hopefully it is going to be, as I say, a really good race. We are waiting for that 30-second countdown, I believe, to start, which gives me ample amount of time to tell you about the race sponsor, of course, here tonight. And it, of course, is Grid Rival, a brand new Formula 1 Fantasy League game that has unmatched research tools, simple team management with a new contract system, as it looks like the drivers are about to get going on their formation lap. Simple team management with a new contract system, detailed performance data, and loads of engaging social features. Head over and join the PSGL League on Grid Rival by using the affiliate link in the description below. Or you can go to, if you can't see the description, premiersimgl.com/Grid Rival. You'll be able to find it on there. And if you're in the Discord server, you'll probably be able to find it in the announcements. But there we go. As we are now on the formation lap, of course, and everyone has been completely boring in terms of their pit strategy. By the looks, top 10, of course, qualified on that set of soft compound tyres. Everyone else on the set of mediums. And as you said, Storm, I think simple one-stop strategy is probably going to be the case around here. I've seen drivers attempt to go 10, 11 laps on a set of soft compound tyres. That's what the AWS graphics say anyways. It might be one of the only times where the AWS graphics is actually on in terms of my predictions, which is good. But rest of the field, Cortez, Patuxai, all on a set of medium compound tyres. How are they going to be getting on? And I'm immediately looking down in 16th position and thinking, Will Murdoch, he's probably going to be the quickest guy out there in terms of the actual pace on the mediums. He has got to think, and how honestly do the others approach, because they're all going to be in a DRS train, and you know with DRS trains around here, it's so hard to overtake the further you are you down in them.
Yeah, it is, and it'll be interesting to see how Will and Knuth get on, as Lewis has rejoined now for, I think, the 4th time. But yeah, it's Cameron on pole with DV19 right behind him. It's going to be the two Ferrari-powered cars, which is the Ferrari and the Haas. We don't normally see a Haas at the front, but you've seen it here tonight, as they're normally at the back of the grid, unfortunately. 25 laps here in the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, which is in Jeddah, in the Jeddah city of Saudi Arabia. As yeah, it's quite a unique track. Hosted one Grand Prix, which was a very exciting race. But I'll hand you over to James here for the 5 red lights and lights out here in Saudi Arabia.
Definitely. So we are just waiting on the likes of Will Murdoch, Izza, Lewis and Dutch Missile coming around the final corners, and everyone is still prepared to join up on their grid slots. Cameron Dowd's still out on top, DV19 in second. Hopefully it is going to be a very good race. Lewis, I think, has left the session. Hopefully he's not going to rejoin back in between the actual race start, because that might cause a glitch around here, and you know with glitches we don't deal quite well with them. Cameron Dowd's out on top, DV19 in second. There is the run from Cameron Dowd in towards turn 1, slightly downhill crest in towards turn 1, and DV19 on the inside line might just try and obviously get that run on Cameron in towards turn number 1. But let's see what the Brit will do out in front. Let's see what everyone will do out in front as well. The 5 red lights are about to go on here in Jeddah. I really hope they are about to go on. Certainly looks like DV19's getting ready, because his ERS, Lewis, has left the session, and now the 5 red lights coming on here in Saudi Arabia. It is round number 7 of the championship, and it's lights out and away we go, and Cameron Dowd gets a very good start. There's a very good start as well from Lewis's AI right down the back of the field, but Cameron leads in towards turn number 1. There's a Red Bull absolutely diving it down the inside line. That is run down the inside line in towards turn number 1, and he gets 2 moves, I think, there on Trinity and Moron. So he's doing his into 8. Really good move that from him. Arocca and Marassa going side by side in towards turn 4, and Arocca goes 4th. Cameron Dowd's still out in front. DV19 in second. Marquez in third. Everyone, I think, is clean through, which is really really good to see. Messi was dropping down and side by side through turn number 8 and 9, and Messi just about holds on to the position from Ron, who I think got forced out wide by Rudy, if I'm not mistaken. Messi there in 7, Marlon right on the back of Ron in toward the end of the first sector, but it's Cameron out on top, DV19 second, Marcos in third, and I think for the first time I've seen all season, what a clean start that is.
Yeah, fantastic clean start as Cameron leads them through lap 1 here, and he's managed to keep his P1, but don't count out DV19. He is still on the back. Cameron is using ERS. He knows that there is fast drivers right behind him, but he must be a cool driver right at the moment, as yeah, no DRS at the moment for the first 2 laps, but DV19 is going to have a look, I think, at Cameron. Not the best of camera angles. As as they come round to the end of lap 1, as it looks to be like Cameron is going to keep the position, and yeah, not really many position changes, but Knuth has dropped down as Cameron sets the fastest lap for the moment.
He does indeed. Cameron leads the way. DV19 in second, Marcos in third. I think DV19 is just sitting waiting and behind for Cameron, just to tag him along really and drag the front 3 along, try and get out that slipstream range to a Rocker who's in 4th. There are the position changes, by the way. Ron did gain those 2 positions past Marlon and Trinity. He's also down 2 positions, Trinity. Most positions gained, though, are both a Rocker, Ron, and Dutch Missile. They've all gained 2. Everyone else really has gained 1. And if you're the front 2, you haven't gained any at all because you're still in the position that you started in at the start of the race. But Tuxide getting a really good run of Rexnig down in towards turn number 13. Dives it down the inside line. That's a great move there by the Spaniard on the pole. And the pole is going to try and fight back on the inside line, but he is not going to get this move done. And Patuxide Thune, he's into 13th position. We'll get back the tyre graphic and everything there. But Cameron leads the way. DB19 in second. Marcos in third. Front 3 are pulling away. Rocker's just struggling slightly to try and lie up. He's now outside nearly of that second, and a Rocker really struggling, I've got to say, down the straight. It looks like the drivers in front have got tuned in into their straight line speed setups, as now DV19 is going to attack Cameron in towards turn number 1, or turn number 27 I should say, into the final sector, and DV19 Walters past him. He's into the lead of the race. Cameron there in second, Marcos in third. But what is DV19's actual strategy call around here? What is his goal in this race? He's overtaken Cameron Dowd, clearly feels he's got the pace to, now pulling away, so that's the fastest lap of the race. If I was him, I would have just waited until the next lap, because DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, it is all about what is his strategy, as Cameron is going to get DRS as it is now on to lap 3, and it looks like Izza at the back of the grid in P16 is having a bit of a battle, as
he's going to get it done. Oh! Dutch Missile, I think, is in the wall, just in the background. Sorry to cut you off. Izza got the move done on Rexnig. I think he backed off the throttle there, Rexnig. And Izza's through and he's into 15. But Dutch Missile into the wall in the background. I think he clipped it with the right-hand side. I'm not sure if he's got right-side end plate damage on the car. Certainly looks like his tyres are very dirty indeed. But it looks like he's got away with it, to be honest. Coming through the first sector, he looks like he's fine in terms of the front wing damage. Can't really see because the camera angle has not given me any look in at all on this front wing. Come on, please show me the front wing. Yeah, he hasn't got any damage. I think he just hit the wall purely on the right-hand side. And obviously, with the force he hit the wall, he obviously spun.
Yeah, and we'll have to watch also Rudy's masterclass with the ERS, as Cameron is going to get DRS. He's going to use it to his, well, not hopefully, to his advantage as he's closing the gap. He is closing. Is he going to go for it here? He's not. He's just going to tuck himself behind. He's going to have to keep an eye on behind him, as there is an AlphaTauri right behind him, as Cameron is going to go for the move across the start-finish line down into turn 1, as Rudy sets the fastest lap and Cameron is back up to P1.
Yeah, coming back into the lead of the race. Rudy actually sets the fastest lap of the race now. Patuxai and Dan are going side by side as well in towards turn number 1. I think Dan just let him through there, so Patuxai through, and he's into 12th. Trinity's still struggling on that set of soft compounded tyres. Obviously, after that start, getting mullered by Ron down in towards turn number 1. I think it was almost 3 wide, I believe, and he got that move done. So Ron through, obviously, into 8th position at the start of the race. But Cameron leads the way. DB19 in second. These 3, though, had the chance to pull away outside of a second Trarocca. They haven't. They simply haven't. It's the middle sector where I think through 16 on the run up towards 23, that section of the track where they're going to gain the time, because a Rocket is struggling through, in terms of his setup, down the straight line speed part of the track especially, he is struggling to try and catch back up. Marquez obviously is in the slipstream range. Rocca is outside of that slipstream range. Today's 8/10 per second around here as Trinity picks up the first 3-second penalty of the night. And Rocca, the Frenchman, just struggling for a bit of pace. He is latching still back on as Rudy is all over the back of Maras like a very hot rash coming through 23 and 24. Cameron leads the way. DV19 in second. But watch on board with Rudy on the back of Maras. I think DV19 is going to wait in behind on the leader. And I think there's going to be hardly any moves happening here in towards turn 27. And nobody has had to make a move. So, literally, you'll say as they are down in towards turn 1. But Cameron very slow at the final corner. DV19 is now going to get the run. Marquez is going to try and follow through as well. DV19 pulls the inside line. Should fly past. I think Marquez is going to follow through as well. Down the inside line, he fakes it in towards turn 1. Rudy launched it from a mile back on Maras. Goodness me. Absolutely launched it down the inside line. And the Dutchman is probably going to come out on top of this. And he does. Rudy through and he's into 5th. Brilliant, brilliant stuff by Rudy. He got him on the brakes. He nearly made contact with the Rocker's rear wheel. And Rudy's through and he's into 5th. That was a very late braking move. Almost as if he's taking a trademark out of Max Verstappen's book.
Yeah, that I know we've got a Dutch missile in, but yeah, that was a bit of a missile move there. As what a move by Rudy, showing that he can be late on the brakes and still make the move. As the quote from Fernando Alonso: "You have to leave the space," and he left the space, and he is up into P5. He may just get himself onto the podium if he's making moves like that, and they are very well executed. As Cameron is not dropping down as such, but he may start to feel the pressure of Marquez, if I pronounce that right. Yep. As he's going to get DRS, the AlphaTauri driver, but Cameron has also got DRS. This is what you going back to earlier, James. The DRS train, it is starting to form, but these three have just pulled away enough to obviously not be in any threat from P4, as I think Rudy is going to make a move on the Aston Martin of Acura. Yeah, I think I pronounced that right. My names aren't the best for me, unfortunately. So if I do say a name wrong, then do correct me, as Rudy is up to P4. I just wonder, Rudy, for a podium, it's possible. He's on the softs, like the top 10 are still currently. So yeah, if he can manage that ERS, I think we might just be seeing a double Haas in the top 3.
Definitely so. Rudy's got so much pace compared to the guys ahead of him as well. He's closing on the back of Marquez. My little ooh, by the way, in towards turn 27 was Marlon. Absolutely sent it down the inside line of Ron. As Dutch Missile is out of the race, coming through turn number 5. That might be the first safety car of the night, and indeed it is. The safety car deployed out on track. Dutch Missile crashing through turn number... I think that's turn number... I'm just trying to count them up on my map. I think it's through turn 6 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. There's the beautiful helicopter cam, by the way. Very much late, I think, in terms of that. But lap 6 out of 25. Safety car now deployed. DV19 leads the way. Cameron in second. Marquez in third. I was saying that Marlon got the move done on Ron in towards turn 27. Got the job done. It was a phenomenal move. If you thought Rudy's move was good on the brakes, that was even better by Marlon, and he absolutely excelled Ron in towards 27 and got the move done. What do the drivers do here, though? Safety car's now out. Set of soft compound tyres. I know for a fact set of mediums are going to last 18 laps, so they're bound to come into the pit lane, which indeed they actually are. Rudy is back into the pit lane. Everyone, I think, on a set of softs is in. Cortez stays out. We should see the medium runners. Oh, some of them are actually coming in. Medium runners are in. And there's an absolute traffic jam. And I think there was a bit of front wing damage there from Trinity, if I'm not mistaken. Now the Trinity are run into the pit lane. Thought there was a bit of front wing damage. We'll see on the case of the Williams. There is front wing damage on the car. He is getting a front wing change. And I think he hit the right side of his wing into the wall coming into the pit lane, and I think Ron ahead of him just slowed up very much early, I think, coming into the pit lane. And Trinity now, obviously, front wing change hasn't cost him that much. It's a safety car. He's down in P16, and he is just ahead of Lewis. And I was going to say, if he's ahead of Lewis, or behind Lewis, that would have caused him a few problems, because obviously you can't overtake an AI. Saying that, though, Lewis has overtaken Trinity.
Yeah, as we are under the safety car, 7 laps in, and it's the the Aston Martin safety car that was introduced in the 2021 season back for next season, and I think I have a personal preference to that Aston Martin safety car. It might just be I like Aston Martin, but yeah, I think it is a better version of the safety car. Also, I think the Mercedes, is doing the medical car this year. The Aston Martin is only going to be the safety car. Yeah, that's a bit of a change from there. I have seen the Mercedes car for next season, and it's okay. It's a pass. But yeah, no, I know for a fact we won't see the Aston Martin safety car until Abu Dhabi. So we'll have the Mercedes. Hold on, I'm trying to think of the calendar now. I know it'll be Sunday, which will be this week, and then the round after that, I think it will be the Mercedes again.
Yeah, I believe it's Australia, round number 3, if I'm not mistaken, where the Aston Martin safety car is going to be on. I saw some F1 article, I think it was on the F1, the actual F1 website, and yeah, the Aston Martin, I think, is going to be round 3 in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Australia is that resurfaced track, which I've got to say, I'm very much looking forward to, because it's going to be a much faster circuit, hopefully less dangerous as well for the drivers. We have got pit stops, by the way. Will Murdoch coming in for that mandatory 2-stop. He is going to go into a set of medium compound tyres now. He came in for a set of hards. Izza went in for a set of softs, and now he is on to a set of medium compound tyres. And same with Nutt, he's also into the pit lane, and he's going to be going on to a set of medium compound tyres, you would imagine, as well in the Williams. And he is right down the back of the field, not going according to plan at this stage in the race. Safety car still out here, though, in PSGL F3. Of course, if you want to catch more action in around 20 minutes' time, PSGL F1 will be live. Luke Etheridge and Aidan Carter taking to the action, of course. More tiers to come up during the night as well. But the main one, of course, PSGL F1 is up in around 20 minutes' time. Just under 20 minutes until the start of the stream for that. Cortez leading the way, though. Dan Spreen in second, Rexnick in third. That gives me a really good chance to make a third promotion of the night for Grid Rival as well. And, of course, Grid Rival is that F1 2022 fantasy league that has been created in partnership with PSGL. Fantastic, of course. Get involved if you do want to. It is a very fun social aspect compared to the normal racing that we normally have in PSGL, of course, with with a potential GT Sport, Gran Turismo 7 League even, potentially on the works as well. That should be quite interesting. And yeah, I think Grid Rival is going to be, it's going to take off, I think, in terms of how popular it might be. And of course, you'll probably get the same chance, the same options as you do for F1 Fantasy as well. But Cortez leading the way, Dan Spreen in second, Rex in third. I'll be very safe to say that the safety car is going to be coming in this lap, and it's probably going to be coming in on the exit of turn 24, which we should get, I think. I'm just trying to time it now. Right about now, yeah, the safety car is now coming in this lap. Cortez now leading the pack. Dan Spreen there in second, Rex in third. He's now the virtual Barlander Cortez. He's now the virtual safety car. And clearly, medium runners do want to get on with things. And I think Cortez also wants to get on with it. And he wants to try and obviously string out the soft runners in behind. Nuth is staying way back, by the way, down at the back of the field. He's staying 10 car lengths behind Izza on the mini-map at least. Cortez now coming to the final corner. He is going to be on the run to the line very soon indeed. And he will take the safety car restart as now we get going with Cortez. Dan Spreen, that was right on the back of him. And in fact, you can't overtake, of course, until the safety car line, which is now. And Dan Spreen, across the line, is going to try and get the move done on Dan in towards turn number 1. Cortez was sleeping across the line there. And now Dan, towards turn number 1, absolutely waltzes down the inside line. That's a brilliant move by Dan. Already pushes Cortez out. Rexig's now going to have something to say about that as well. And the pole is going to go try and go all the way around the outside of turn 4. Doesn't get the move done. A rock on the back of Rudy there coming through turn 4 and 5. He's now on the back once again of the Dutchman just ahead. But Dan Spreen, phenomenal move that was. Down the inside and towards turn 1. Got the job done for the inside of 2. And he's now into the lead of the race. Cortez there in second, Rexig in third. DV19 and Cameron Dowd so far haven't made positions, but they're in a bit of traffic with the 3 guys ahead.
Yeah, as if it's not one Ferrari, it's the other. As it looks like, is Cameron gone for... No, he hasn't gone for the move, but he is quite close. As
He'll get it here, though.
Being, yeah, I think he will get him. As I'm going to go on board with him. As yeah, he is going to go for it. He's weaving that car right behind. He knows that he wants to make the move, but he's going to have to be patient here, as Jeddah will bite you if you do make one wrong move. as Cameron is also having to defend now, as Markados is right behind. So, yeah, Cameron's in a bit of a pickle at the moment, as he is going to get overtaken, I think, as Markados is going to go round. No, Cameron gets understeer, and he is going to lose the position. As look at behind, or in front, should I say, it's literally all go in Jeddah, as we've got a bit of a flying formation, as it looks like Dan and Cortez are battling, as all Dan, he needs to be a little bit careful with the track limits there, as Cortez gets himself up to P1. What a fantastic few corners as Cortez takes the race lead, but Dan is right on the back, and so is the Polish Kubica.
I don't think I've seen 3 battles, first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, go side by side out of the final corner around any track in any commentary in my entire life. That was brilliant. Maras down the inside of a rocker, gets the move done. He pushes them slightly out wide, nearly up into the wall, but Tuxai is going to slip underneath as well. And now it's side by side, and it's going to get quite messy here before it gets a little bit clean, I think. But Tuxai on the back of a rocker, now coming through 16. Is he going to try and get the move done? He's on that set of soft compounded tires, was the only one that actually came in for that set of soft compounded tires, but he's not going to be close enough onto the back of a rocker. We'll focus then on DV19 on the back of Rexnig coming through turn number 23 and 24. Cortez leading the way. Dan Spreen looks like an absolute sitting duck, I've got to say, in towards 27 as now Rexnig is on the back of him. DV19 also on the back. Cameron is going to be overtaken possibly by Rudy in all of this as well, just in the background, and he dives it down the inside line in towards 27. Does he get the move done on the inside line? Not quite, didn't have the traction, but Tuxar though has just absolutely outgunned a rocker around the outside. Dan is into the pit lane, but Tuxar now to the line will come in behind his teammate, and we've got an attack for second. DV19 down the inside of Rexnig gets the job done, and I think Markados is going to try and follow through on the outside of turn number 2. This is an absolute overtaking fest here in Jeddah. Cortez leads the way, DV19 in second. Cameron Dowds is trying to follow through on Markados, who gets the move done. He's into third. Rexnig now down to fourth. His tyres are now beginning to let go slightly. Cameron there in fifth, but Cortez has already got a second. Cameron Dowds has got to be careful because Rexnig is driving very, very slowly in front of him, and now should be the time to launch the move, and he will get the move done surely in towards turn 13. He's got the job done. He's through and he's into fourth. There's now a rocker and Marlon goes side by side as well, but Tuxai and Mass are going side by side, and he's absolutely outschooled him around the outside. They're still side by side, but Tuxai gets that job done on Maras. I can't believe what's happening. We're getting so many overtakes, it's almost as if we've got a 5-lap race on our hands, as Rexnig, I think, has been into the wall coming out of 16.
Yeah, I think he might have, James, and yeah, it is an absolute overtaking feast, yeah, there's a lot of overtakes, but this is actually helping Cortez, as he's able to, well, he did, earlier on in the lap, he did manage to get a 1 second gap, but it has now been brought down by DV19 as they come round for what will be lap number 12. DV19 is right on the back of him. He's going to go for the move. He doesn't need DRS. He's going to use the ERS. It looks like Cortez is going to drop 2 positions here, as Markados also gets the move done into turn 1, and that is Cortez dropped down to P3. Oh, Will Murdoch's out.
Yeah, retired. I think he made contact coming through 25, if I'm not mistaken. I think he picked up a bit of front wing damage. I think he was side by side with either Ron or Nuth involved in that. The 2 human cars. Of course, Lewis's AI is well behind. He's left the session. That's unfortunate for Will Murdoch. It was looking quite promising. DV19 leading the way, though. Markados in second, Cortez in third. Good evening to Mr. Luke Etheridge, who has joined us in the comments section. And now Cameron on the outside line, in towards turn 13. He's not going to do this around the outside, is he? Cameron Dowds around the outside of 13. Not maybe the best move of the lot. He's through and he's into third. And he's 12, remember. He is 12, and he's just done a move like that around the outside of Cortez. I know he's on 7-lap pressure tyres, but that was absolutely unbelievable. Cameron Dowds through and he's into third. Now he can push on Markados. He's lost time, obviously, after the pit stop, but now he's getting it back, and he's got a chance of still winning this race, which will be crucial. Markados, though, in behind, looks the quickest guy, I think, in the entire field at this point. Markados on the back of DV19. I think he's just going to sit and wait in behind on the back of DV19. What do I know, though? Because I think he's going to go the outside line towards 27. So what does the commentator know? Markados on the outside line gets the job done. Rudy's just forced the move down the inside of Cortez. That's a lovely move by Rudy. And now Cameron Dowds is side by side with DV19. Goodness me, can they give us a break? Marquinhos leads the way, DV19 in second, Cameron Dowd's now in third, and now possibly could be 2 wide, at least 3 wide, in towards turn number 1. DV19 given the room on the inside line. Doesn't get the move done, and Cameron switches back underneath. He's on the outside line now for turn number 3, and Marquinhos will block him in. Marquinhos blocks Cameron in. Tactical move that by Marquinhos, allowed within the F1 regulations, and Marquinhos still leads the way. DB19 in second, Cameron in third, and I think if Marquinhos didn't block off Cameron Dowd's there, I think possibly the move could have been on, and still the move could be on then towards 13, but I don't think he's close enough. Marquinhos though, taking a picture out of my book, I think, closing off the door there. Marquinhos leads, DV19 in second, Cameron in third, and I think, by all intents and purposes, Marquinhos was entitled to do that. He had the lead of the race, and he could do what he wants.
Yeah, it's been some fantastic overtaking and racing here in PSGL S3, as it looks like Cameron is going to have a look at DV19, as it's looking a bit of a tricky situation here for Cameron. He's slap bang right in the middle of a Haas sandwich, and he's either going to have to defend or he's going to have to attack, as Cameron is now going to get DRS as Dan gets a 3-second time penalty. Cameron is attacking, but he's not going to get close enough, I don't think, for an overtake. And look at the train behind Cameron. It's an absolute, well, whatever you want to call it, DRS train, whatever. It's an F1 car fest at the moment, as it looks like somebody's going to go for a move as they all go down into turn 1. Oh, who is that going for a late move?
Tries to get the move done around the outside of turn number 2, but I think he's going to be hung out to dry. He's nearly in the wall coming out of turn number 2. And Metiu's going to fly through on him. And Metiu's through and he's into 6th. And that was false by Cortez. Pretty much put the Batuksai in the wall coming through turn number 2. No contact at all in that. Given the nature of the track limits, what track limits through turn 2? But Tuxar was so close to the wall, if he moved an inch closer, he would have been in the wall. Quite simply. Marquinhos leads the way, DV19 in second, and now Maras is trying to go down the inside of his own teammate, down the inside line, the OP man, bit forceful, I've got to say, that move. Think he's going to let him off with that one, yeah, but Tuxar stays ahead. Good sportsmanship there, Maras didn't want to go for the move. He probably realised it was a bit rough and tumble, to be honest, in that, and now he's down in 8th position, but still on the back of Batuksai, who looks quite quick, I've still got to say, on that sort of soft, but he is now getting dragged down by this big old DRS train. Marquinhos, by the way, has timed his move to absolute perfection, I think, because he's now 9/10 clear, but the big thing is, DV19 still within DRS range. Cameron Dowd still within DRS range. And speaking of Cameron, he's got to fly to the outside line and towards 27. He's on the outside line. Is he going to get the move done, though? DV19 holds the inside line. Cameron Dowd with the grip around the outside. DV19 sideways, and that is move done for Cameron Dowd. He's through and he's into second. DV19 though still got a bit of a gap as Trinity is round, coming out of 27. Not sure if he made contact with anyone there. Cortez is into the pick lane as well. Marquinhos leads. Cameron Dowd's in second. DV19 in third. Rudy in fourth, but Tuxai again on Metiu down the inside line and towards turn number 1. Doesn't get the move done there, but now on the outside of turn number 3, this will be an insane move if he can pull this off. But Tuxai does get that move done, and he's through and he's into 5th. It's like a cluster mess out on track. Honestly, the overtaking is just unreal.
Yeah, as Dan is out. That's Dan into the pits and retired. So we've only got one Ferrari left, as Cameron has got DRS, while James gets his voice back, as we don't want him with no voice for next week, as it is Sector 3, which has now cleared of the yellow flags. But yeah, Cameron getting the move done on DV19. He's got one car left in front of him. We will wait for him to make that move, but we might not have much time to wait, as Cameron is rapidly closing that gap. It is now 3/10 behind the AlphaTauri of Marquinhos as they go through what will be into Sector 3. Cameron's going to get DRS, but Cameron may have to defend from the Haas driver of DV19, as
he's going to get them both potentially here.
This is going to be an absolute insane move. Cameron goes for the move, but he's going to have to defend, as it looks to be Marquinhos is going to keep that position, and DV19 will have to stay where he is as they go across the start-finish line. Cameron going for the move. They're not going to make it 3 wide. No, as it looks to be Cameron gets P1 and DV19 goes into P2 as Marquinhos drops to P3. They go through turn 1 and turn 2, and it's all looking action-packed here in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, DV19 That was what we like to call an F1 the slingshot effect down towards turn 1. It looked like at the final corner he wasn't going to get the move done, but because Marcos was going so slow in front of him, the slingshot effect happened. He basically was on the outside line, pulled to the inside line where there was the gap, and DB19 got through and he's into second. And now Marcos, all of a sudden, from being nearly a second clear a lap ago, he's now under pressure from Rudy in behind. I can't believe the change in Marcos' pace in the last 2 laps or so. I'm not sure if it's because of the tyres are overheating or anything. Marcos at the minute just seems like he's struggling slightly. There's a potential issue with his tyres. He might be overwhelming them slightly. That is a lovely camera shot, by the way, we're on board with at the minute. The helicopter cam on board with Rudy for 4th. Marcos there in 3rd. He is still doing a good job. Just runs wide there slightly through 24. But is he going to try and get the move done on the back of DB19? I don't think he's going to be close enough, and in fact I don't think anybody is going to be close enough for the move. And by the way, Nuth, who was right down the back of the field underneath the safety car, he's somehow now in 11th position. Yeah, 2 drivers have retired. Rexnig has came into the breakdown along with Cortez, and speaking of Rexnig, he's just picked up a 3-second penalty. But Nuth has got very good pace now. He's on the back of Marlon further down the field, down and towards turn number 1. He's not going to be close enough for the move, but Nuth is picking up positions very nicely indeed. He's in there in 11th position. He has got an outside shot of a top 10 finish. But remember, he's got the penalty, and in terms of the penalties, I've run you through them now. Izza, Nuth, Ron, Trinity, all on 3 seconds, and Rexnig, unfortunately, is on 9 seconds worth of penalties, and he is right down towards the back of the field. And to be honest, I think he and Lewis is still in that AI mode, of course, in ghost mode. Rexnig does need a safety car, really, to get back into this.
Yeah, as there's 8 laps to go here in Jeddah, as Cameron leads the way on 9-lap mediums with DV19 in the Haas in P2 with Marcos in P3. Also on the mediums, your only soft runners are Lewis, the Polish Kubica, Cortez, and is that Bextual? I'm really going to yeah, thanks, James. You should be my spokesperson. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Split strategies a little bit as Ron is on the hard compound tire. He is currently in P12. So yeah, but as Cameron gets a little bit of understeer as coming out the final corner, it's not going to really affect him. But I wonder if Rudy is going to make a move on Marcos for P3. I don't think he will, as they all contina up in to turn 1 and 2, as the top 4 have got a little bit of a gap, but I wouldn't be surprised if that gap comes down in the final few laps. But yeah, Cameron leads the way here in Jeddah.
Definitely so. This is all building nicely, I think, for a real goal. Final 2 laps of the race is going to be absolutely manic, I think, out on track. And I saw a finish between Jensen, who's obviously going to be in F1, along with Kazizel, I believe. Kazizel, obviously, I think is in F2, if I'm not mistaken. And both of them, I commented in the league around here, and both of them were side by side at the final corner. Literally side by side, I think, through the entirety of the final lap. And somehow, it was a 1300th of a second across the line to determine who would win and who would finish second. Are we going to get that here tonight? I really hope so, between 4 drivers potentially for the race win, because it looks like Batuxar now and that set us off is struggling. I think Rudy's in pole position for this. Rudy is in entire pole position. He looks like he's going to get the move done as well, possibly a Marcos. And Marcos are going to try and follow through on DB19. But you can see now Rudy to the inside line. They all pack up, and Marcos in the end is going to go for the move on both of them. And Marcos down the inside line gets both of them into the final corner. It's a bit tactical, I think, from Cameron Dowds. And now with the DRS, he pulls out on the slipstream once again. Who needs the final 2 laps of the race when he got 2x2? Noah's Ark 3 wide in towards turn number 1. Cameron is somehow in the lead of the race. Rudy in second, DB19 and third, and there's contact. They've both been spun. The Hasses make contact. Marcos went into the back. I think he's got damage as well. It all looks so promising, and now it's gone completely down the drain for them. Cameron Dowds leads. He's been given an absolute free chance of winning this race now. But Tuxai in second, DB19 in third. Marcos has got damage on the right side end plate. Rudy was spun in that as well. DB19, I'm not sure if he picked up any damage. He was the one that came up actually better out of the field, and that run aboard with DB19. He has not got any damage. It is Rudy and Marcos who got damage in that. Cameron Dowds leads 2 seconds the gap, and to be honest, Can't see that gap being closed now.
No, what just happened? I don't even want to even comment on it. I think we could probably call this this race, should I say, a bit of Manic Monday. It's like shopping at the supermarket very quickly. I think as there was another driver, the Polish Kubica, unfortunately didn't have the race he wanted, but he is out of the race as he retired in the pits. But Cameron now has a 2-second gap to what will be P2.
Maras down the inside line and Matthew into the final corner. Good job there by the Italian. Oh, I nearly cut Matthew up at the pass there into the wall. But that is a very nice move by Maras. He's into fourth, and now DB19's got to get the move done. Back into second position he goes. Stewards, of course, will have a look into that incident towards turn number 1 and 2. Guarantee there might be a penalty or two coming the way there with that incident. Markadol's obviously into the pit lane. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually retires into the pit lane either. Cameron Dowd's leading the way. DB19 in second, but Tuxai in third. DB19 now has got one opportunity. It is these next couple of laps that will determine whether or not he's going to finish in second or whether or not he's going to get the race win. If I was DB19, I'd be exploding the hell out of his ERS battery at this stage. He's in there in second, 50% battery to use up. Cameron Dowds is using up a lot of battery already, and he needs to use it up if he wants to try and catch back up, because DB19, he might be holding back now, but he shouldn't, because Cameron Dowds is getting away with him, 3 seconds the gap, and I think because of that gap that Cameron has pulled out, and DB19 is saving up his battery to an extent where he doesn't really want to go for the win, DB19 has to use up that ERS. No question about it. He now needs to catch Cameron Dowds for the race win. I know he wants it, but does he want it?
Yeah, and just what an incredible also the Alfa Romeo driver who is in the 12 laps. Oh no, that's actually going to move him up to P2 as he is just got past DB19. 12 laps on the soft. If he goes another 5 laps, that's going to be 17 laps on the soft. And yeah, that's incredible.
Potential puncture territory possibly as well for Patuxa. I know the softs are quite good around here though in terms of the tyre wear. Cameron Dowd's leading the way. Patuxa there in second, DB19 in third. DB19 now, I think because he didn't use up that ERS on that last lap there, he is now, I think, completely shot his bolt in terms of this actual race win. He's struggling as well in terms of the tyres. You can see blistering beginning to occur. Because it's primarily a left-handed track, you tend to get more wear on the right-hand side of the car, and therefore you are now seeing blistering. If I run on board with DB19, I'll explain what I mean. It's especially the rears that take the hit. And you see, down the right rear tyre, as we ride on board with this camera angle, there's a little black line going through the centre of the tyre. That indicates blistering. That indicates his tyres are short. And to be honest, Patuxai's softs are even looking better than DB19's mediums at this stage. So Cameron leads the way, 3.5 seconds. Gapper's not going to come down. It's who's going to be on the podium is going to be the next question. Marlon is looking quite quick on the back of Izza. He nearly got chopped up there and towards 23. And a rocker has been overtaken by Nutham. I think has got front wing damage. He has. A rocker into the wall. The left side end plate damage on the car. Maras is in with a chance as well of a possible podium. But it is going to be possibly a 6-7 car fight for second here. Cameron Dowds, he's a little speck now halfway up the road. But Tuxai there in second, and Maras now pulls on the outside line in towards turn number 1. He's got to be careful because Tuxai's now coming to the outside line. DB19 down the inside, Maras down the inside. DB19 has got second. A rocker has retired into the pit lane. Maras now coming around the final corner, and he's now around the final corner, up into the first couple of corners even. Down the inside of 4. And it just about forces Patuxai out, and Meti is going to try and think about going around the outside of turn 4. That's an impossibility, and I believe actually a rocker crashed into the pit lane entry, if I'm not mistaken. His car was there. I'm not sure if it was the final corner or the pit wall, but a rocker out of the race nonetheless.
Yeah, unfortunate there for a rocker in the is that, I believe he was the Aston Martin. No, I'm gonna try and
no, Aston Martin. Yeah,
yeah, no, I was right. Just trying to figure out what the colour was, because obviously it's now in the greyed out colour. Yeah, Cameron using all his ERS. He knows that he has got that little bit of a gap now. He's got 4.7 gap, and that is increasing rapidly as he's got 0 ERS. He's used it all, and I think, as you said, it is now a fight for P2, which DV19 does lead that pack. But, oh no, that's OP now has overtaken. Oh, and that's Marcos out might be as well.
That potentially could be a safety car. I mean, we're on lap 22. Could there be a safety car? I think it's too late. If it was a lap earlier, I think there might have been a safety car, but it's not. But Tuckside dives down the inside line of DV19 into the turn number 1. The car has been cleared. No one around there on the circuit. And now Batuksai tries to get the inside line of turn number 2 for turn number 3. He's on the outside of 4. This would be brilliant if he can pull off the move. But DV19 is not having any of that. He's thinking, you're not getting this move. I know you're on a set of softs, but to be honest, I'm also on a set of mediums. I'm wearing out on those set of mediums, and I do not want to relinquish position. He might have to, though. He's just picked up a 3-second penalty. As Batuksai now in 4th. Marlon's looking significantly quicker, I've got to say. Metsu as well is involved in this battle. Maras is now 4.6 seconds off the back of Cameron Dowds. He's 1.1 seconds up the road from DV19, and it just comes to show who has been actually holding the tyres the best in the DRS train. Cameron Dowds obviously escaped after that incident. Maras, though, he looks like he's going to be best of the rest. He's doing exactly what Cameron's doing, wasting away his battery, pulling that gap out, and that's exactly what you want to be doing, because if not, you're going to be stuck in a DRS train like Metsu and Marlon, and you're not going to be going anywhere.
Yeah, as pointed out very nicely there by James, as yeah, I think if you waste your battery here, you are going to suffer as...
Oh my... Oh, I thought it was going to be 3-1 into the final corner. Sorry to cut you off. Metsu's around the outside of Batuksai. And do you want to commentate through this?
Well, I'll try if they all stay in one position for 1 second.
Oh, it's 3 wide!
As, yeah, they are going to go 3 wide. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging.
No way! No! Marlon to the inside line! He's not going to get this move done, is he? That's insane if he can get the move done. Metsu is back through and he's into 4th. I'll tell you what, though. I've never seen 3 wide and towards turn 1. I've seen 2 wide, and normally it comes up very badly for the drivers that do go 2 wide. I've got to credit every single one of them drivers there. Metsu, Marlon, Batuksai, you deserve a real pat on the back after that one. 3 wide into turn 1, and not an inch of room given. That is what you call racing. Absolutely brilliant. Cameron Dowds leads the way. Maras there in 2nd, DV19 in 3rd, Metsu there in 4th, Marlon there in 5th. But Cameron, 4.5 seconds up the road. Maras is 1.3 seconds up the road. It looks like front 2 are decided. DV19 has got to pull out that 3-second gap now. It's looking an impossibility with the DRS train in behind. Marlon and Marlon and Metsu, in fact, 4th and 5th. That looks to be the main battle. Izza as well on the back of Batuksai. Cortez is not too far off the back of the pace either. Trinity has picked up a penalty. And now Marlon pulls out the slipstream on Metsu. And now the championship leader is going to be overtaken around the outside by Marlon. The QRT man is through, potentially could get DV19 in towards turn 27. He absolutely sends it down the inside line, and that is absolute insanity for Marlon. He's through into the final corner, and he takes P3. He absolutely lunged that. Daniel Ricciardo West wants the final lap. Cameron Dowds leads. Maras in 2nd. Marlon in 3rd. Metsu, though, is going to have a comeback down the inside line in towards turn number 1. And he's thinking, if you can do it, I can try and do it better. Marlon on the inside line, though. And Metsu fight out. And Metsu has just been outgunned by the traction of Marlon. I've got to say, though, that was absolutely insane by Marlon. How on earth he had the audacity to go down the inside line there, I do not know. He's got P3. He's looked an absolute machine out on track, and he's now possibly going to be on for P3 because he's pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, and if this is his first race this season, from a reserve to a full-time seat, yeah, wow, Marlon absolutely, I think, took an overtaking to the next level, as, yeah, it's now going to hopefully stay the same way. We don't want any more. Well, we love overtaking, obviously.
I'll say now, sorry to cut you off, but we're approaching the end of the lap here, but Metsu on the back of Marlon. It's the final lap of the race, I've just realised. Metsu, though, is now going to come back at Marlon. This is going to be Metsu's opportunity. Down in towards the final couple of corners. Cameron Dowds is coming in towards the final couple of corners. He's going to take the race win. But now Metsu has got one chance and one chance only. He's closing in on the back of Marlon to the outside line, into the final corner. He's not going to get the move done. We'll quickly cut to Cameron Dowds to the line. He is going to win, but Metsu has got a really good run at the final corner. It's going to be a photo finish for 3rd. Who's on the inside line? Metsu to the line. As I get covered by a black box to the line, I think it's Marlon that finishes in third. Metzi there in fourth. DB19 in fifth. That is the worst time black box I think I've had in commentary ever. Cameron Dowds wins. Maras in second. Marlon in third. 800ths of a second. Nearly a photo finish. I did say there'd be a photo finish. I didn't say for what position, but Metzi finishes down in fourth. Unlucky, I think, in terms of the runs to the line. He had the inside line, but just a little bit slight of correction at the final corner to that inside line. That's what cost him. Otherwise, he would have got P3, I think. But to the top step of the podium does go the Ferrari of Cameron Dowds. And Cameron Dowds has looked back to his brilliant best. Portimao sort of best, I think. Even without that disqualification, he would have won that race by around 10 seconds. Now it's retribution again. Cameron Dowds is, I believe, second win of the season, if I'm not mistaken as well. And he's now involved in the championship fight. Can anybody stop him?
Well, it seems like nobody can stop him at the moment, with Cameron taking on the mammoth task of Jeddah, and he came out triumph and he took that race win, with also OP Maraz up there on P2, with Marlon doing an absolute sensational drive, starting P8 on the grid, and got himself a podium, his first one as a full-time driver, and that'll be some excellent points for McLaren.
Excellent points for McLaren indeed, and Marlon drove an absolute unbelievable race. He'd probably get my drive of the day, I think. The amounts of overtaking he made and the great moves that he made as well. Marlon probably my drive of the day, vote for that. Cameron Dowds though wins. Maras in second, Marlon in third, Metzi there in fourth, DB19 in fifth. 800ths of a second covering third and fourth. That is the difference between a podium and not getting on the podium. DB19 there in fifth, as I say. Unlucky in terms of the incident, but Tuxai in sixth, Izza in seventh. Nuth, however, finished eighth. I do not know how he finished eighth. Rudy in ninth, Cortez in tenth, Ron, Trinity, Lewis. Lewis didn't finish under his own volition, and the rest of the field, of course, DNFing out on track. Shall we try and get the top three in?
I'll leave it to you this week, because I had a nightmare. But no, yeah, it's been an absolute fantastic race, and unfortunately, me in F3 will come to an end this evening, as Logan will be back in. But yeah, working with James from last week and this week, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure we'll get to share the comms box again in the rest of PSGL. Obviously, we've got Thursday, which obviously we commentate over in somewhere else. But yeah, hopefully Logan is back next week. We don't have a third week, but yeah, from what I've seen from the 2 weeks from Austria to Saudi Arabia, fantastic driving, and I'm sure it's only going to get better as the season goes on in F3. As yeah, that race, simply mind-blowing.
Simply mind-blowing indeed. I'm trying to figure out how to add somebody through the PS app to PSN party, so give me a second while I actually do this. What we will say, though, is obviously fantastic race from Cameron Dowds' perspective. After that incident, obviously unfortunate incident between the two Hasses, and obviously with Markadils getting caught up in that as well, Cameron absolutely excelled out on track. He pulled away 1.2 seconds, and he used that deployment, and he used that deployment to good effect, because in the end it was 2 seconds clear on that last on the lap, and it was 4 seconds clear to the end of the race, and that simply won him the race.
Yeah, it's a bit of commiserations to, I think, Markadils and Rudy. I think if them two hadn't had the incident they had, I think we could have been talking a different story potentially. But yeah, wow, Cameron, young lad, what a talent. I think he's only going to get better, and yeah, the ceiling is not the limit, I think, with him. I don't think there is a limit with his potential, as yeah, he is going strength to strength.
Yeah, who finished top three, by the way? I've got two of them, Cameron Dowds and Marlon.
The other one was Maraz, the Italian driver.
Yeah. OP Maraz. Just adding them to the party now on the PSN app. Hopefully I'll be able to get them all in. It is OP_Maraz, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Thank goodness,
yeah.
I thought I was adding the wrong account there, and we probably had a randomer join the interviews. There we are.
Just imagine that.
Probably just join and just say, oh yeah, I didn't have a race, so why are you actually commentating with me? Terrible. But yeah, fantastic, obviously, in terms of the racing here in Jeddah. Hopefully we'll get interviews from the top three. I know Cameron will probably join. Not sure about the other two. I know Marlon, probably a busy man, along with Maras. Oh, it's quite late as well in Germany and in Italy at this stage as well. So hopefully we will get an interview from Cameron. I know his dad will be very proud in the comment section there as well. And I really hope you did enjoy that race. If you did, of course, you can like us on... I'm getting back into the Twitch format. You can... subscribe to us on YouTube, tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new. You can like, comment on the stream as well. And looking through, Enzo's saying, invite Marlon, please, he's driver of the day. Totally agree. I think Marlon drove an absolute phenomenal race. That move down the inside of turn 27, he had no audacity to go up the inside there. There was a gap. He had no audacity to go for that move, though. And I do not know how he pulled it off, because he came from an absolute mile back. It literally came back from another country to get that move done. It was an absolute phenomenal job, and he definitely gets my driver of the day. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's so literally you could call about 5-6 different drivers because of all the moves they did. But yeah, sensational from Marlon. As yeah, I think. Austria was, a great finish to the race. Did this week beat it? Yeah, I think it did. The way it finished with Marlon, I think each race is just going to get better and better. And I am a little bit jealous of James as he gets to see this every week in F3. But yeah, no, fantastic racing, and yeah. Congratulations to obviously all top three, and yeah, it's absolutely sensational.
Absolutely sensational indeed. I've just realised, by the way, that they're in a different party. Nobody has actually started that party yet, so we'll probably just continue on for now. Of course, next week, it is the longest track on the F1 calendar. It is Belgium. I am extremely excited to see what drivers are going to do there around Belgium. Of course, I commentated on the IFR event a couple of weeks ago around there. Yes, we had a few glitches in that race, but it was a really good race nonetheless. That race is getting run in a few weeks' time because of the amount of glitches that we had. But if we don't have any glitches next week, obviously Logan will be back alongside me in the commentary box. You obviously with an F10 insight as well. Belgium, absolute classic track to go around. Are we possibly going to see the threat of rain next week, perhaps?
Well, I have to say I prefer to commentate over it than drive it, I have to say. Yeah, I think Belgium's such a unique track. We've gone from one quick track to a very long track. I don't know who does the calendar, but yeah, we might need to talk to him about this. Yeah, but no, Belgium. Obviously, we didn't have one last season, as the rain obviously just basically stopped the whole Grand Prix. Obviously, George Russell had that very fantastic podium, as Marlon has invited. I don't know if you want to join and
yeah, we'll join that.
See if it works.
We're in a separate party to them.
Yeah,
we're in a separate party to them, so we'll hop over now and join them. And I will see you there. And I'm going to join that party now. We have got Marlon and Cameron Dowds in, which is good. So we've got two of the top three in the party. Thank goodness. It's just my absolute innocence, I think, in terms of trying to set up the party there and realising that we were in the wrong party compared to the top three here. But Cameron Dowds, of course, taking another win. Second win of the season. Obviously retribution for Portimao once again. And that after that incident with Marquez and the Hasses and behind, you used up your ERS to really good effect. Talk us through it, because in the end it was a dominant drive.
Yeah, I don't even really know what happened with them. I think they were like 4 wide or something, and I kind of knew, like, in my head when I seen like the two Hasses going for it, I was like, yeah, there's no way this is gonna like go well. And then one of the favourites, in my opinion, to win the race, Marquez, just got yeeted and took out. I reckon he would have been quite a big threat if he didn't, but yeah, and then they all just had to slow down for Marquez, and then I just used up all my ERS to make sure that I was like as far ahead as I could be, because I didn't know the Alfa Romeo on soft. I just wanted to use everything to make sure that he couldn't get in DRS, because I thought he was on fresh softs or something, but it wasn't. But yeah, it was a really fun race. There was few decent moves, and it was quite exciting. and yeah, I'm quite happy. Well, quite happy, very happy.
Yeah, very happy indeed. Obviously, second run of the season as well. Is this now the turning point for you in the season? Because obviously you had that race in Portsmouth. You can completely ignore that completely from your mind now. Is this the race where we say, Cameron Dowd, you are going to be a title contender going into next week?
I hope so. We'll see what happens. Wait, do you know what track it is next week?
Belgium next week.
Yeah, I like Belgium. I don't know where I'm in the championship. I think I was like 5th before, but yeah, I hope I can get in the championship fight again. But I'm just gonna have to work really hard because Matthew is like rapid. It'll be hard to challenge him, but hopefully I can do it.
Yeah, hopefully you can do it. Definitely, indeed. Storm, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Yeah, I've actually got one for Marlon. Obviously, you got the jump up to a full-time seat at McLaren. Your move for podium place P3, did you think you was going to make it, or was you just hoping and praying?
I don't know what to say really. I'm speechless. Crazy race. Yeah, I was not sure that I make P3, but in the end I had enough of the battery left and could defend, and there was that race to the line, and I've done it, and I'm mega happy. I'm absolutely happy. I'm speechless. What a race from P8. I don't know what to say really.
Honestly,
Yeah.
It was Drive of the Day worthy performance. We've both given you Drive of the Day as well. And I've got to say, Enzo was asked this as well. What were your thoughts on that dive in towards DV19? Because I said in commentary you had absolutely no audacity to go up the inside line there. What were you thinking in getting that move done?
Yeah, I had, I don't know, 40% or so, and they two blinked like crazy, and then I thought just go down the inside. My race engineer said send it, and I sent it, and it worked. And yeah, I don't know how, but I pulled it off and got P3, my first race as a main driver, and then instantly podium. I'm so happy. You can't imagine how happy I am. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I think you
I
can.
screamed like crazy. I was as I drove.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I think I think you can give a big pat on the back to your race engineer this evening, as he timed that move to perfection for you. As you made some fantastic moves. As it was incredible to watch. Unfortunately, I won't be here for the rest of the season. Well, I might pop up here and there, but James is in for an absolute mega and fantastic races, which will be left in a season. Also, quickly to Marlon, same question that James asked Cameron. What are your thoughts on Belgium? Are you a favourite of it, or are you an absolute person that absolutely hates it?
I love this track. I feel really comfortable on the track, and I won my last race there in another league, and I'm really confident that I can pull off a good result again. Maybe not top 3, because we have other fast drivers, like DV, Rudy, that choked today, and Marcos. But maybe, top 5 is the target. But points, I would take the points as well.
Yeah, of course. Well, Cameron took the race win with Maraz in P2 and Marlon in P3. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you, James, and I shall hopefully be back maybe later on in the season when Logan's not around.
Definitely so, and to the both of you, you can now go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for commentating
No worries,
the race.
thank you.
You're very welcome indeed. I'm sure you both enjoy watching that race back. God given you watch that race back, because that was brilliant. Brilliant race, obviously. PSGL F1, by the way, is live at this moment in time. I believe they're on the formation lap, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to quickly tune in and see where everyone is at and focus and tell you very quickly what is happening there, of course, in F1, as I have got an F1 Clash advertisement. I will tell you after the advertisement finishes in a second. And it's actually still qualifying. It's the later stages of the qualifying. Max out on top, Daneco there in second, Jensen third, Matthew Walder's down in 7th at the minute, and the fastest lap currently 26.1, 2 tenths quicker than Cameron Dowd's lap time in F3. Goodness me. Hopefully it's going to be a good race, of course, next week in Belgium. We're going to probably tune into PSGL F1 now as well. Hopefully you will as well. Big thank you to Storm for joining me in the commentary box. Big thank you as well to Cameron and Marlon for joining us in the commentary box as well for the interviews. And we will leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.